Red Leg, Volume 1, narrated by Forrest Job. Original cover art by @RelBrody on Instagram. Cover art edits by @Forrest.Job, also on Instagram. Thank you, God, for allowing me to live long enough to write this story. Thank you for sending your Son, Jesus Christ, to die for my sins. Thank you for leaving your Holy Spirit to walk with me during my journey. U.S. Army Field Artillery soldiers were referred to as Redlegs because during the Civil War, they were distinguished by scarlet stripes down the legs of their uniform pants. Y2K had the world shook. Rams won the Super Bowl. Greatest show on turf showed out. Year 2000 in STL special. Graduated from high school on my birthday. Hazelwood Central class of 2000. The class of 2000 had a TV special. Lost my virginity 2 weeks later. We met at In Cahoots the week prior. Me 18, she 16. Denise let me finger her. I went home, she went home. We talked on the phone all week. We talked about sex all week. Got my first SkyTel pager. Felt like the man. She'd page me, and I'd call back. I was a virgin. She wasn't. Took her to the movies. Saw Shaft. She felt mine. I felt her pussy. Moved to Mom's 95 Ford Escort after the movie. Moved to the back seat. We pulled down our pants. I put on a condom and got on top. Felt no shame. Pussy felt good. Mama's gun provided the soundtrack. Didn't nut. Took Denise home. Treated her like my summer girlfriend. Nutted the third time we fucked. Felt like heroin. I was hooked. St. Louis summer of 2000, super fun. Nelly dropped Country Grammar. Gas less than $1. Heard different tracks while driving through STL. St. Louis had something to say. Same feeling as getting a black president. My favorite summer ever. I was getting pussy and making $10 an hour. Through inroads, I got an internship. Mom was an accountant. Thought I wanted to be an accountant. Got thrown into corporate life at 18. Fucked up and sent an office-wide email. Was trying to get free Cardinals tickets. The gig was cool. Not many black people. The perks were nice. Nice lunches charged to the expense card. Got taken to a bar on Laclede's Landing. They told me to act natural. I ordered a Bacardi and Coke. It tasted nasty, but I took slow sips. Felt Denise's hips all summer. Parents and brother went on summer vacation. Had sex with Denise under parents' roof. Fucked raw and didn't pull out. Thank God for a negative pregnancy test. Had my first interaction with the cops. Was at Club Shell with the homie Brandon. County Brown gave me a ticket for loud music. The Escort only had stock speakers. Summer was coming to an end. Broke up with Denise. Reconnected with Mickey. Met Mickey right before high school ended. She was my best friend's cousin. City girl from the north side. I was a county boy from North County. Finding the frog hair with an angelic voice. We would talk on the phone when she could. Officially met at an AKA cotillion. I couldn't stop staring at her. It was love on sight. Knew right then that I wanted her for life. Wanted her to be my wife. Her dad didn't like me. Told me to stop calling his house. Didn't talk to Mickey all summer. She was at Ty's graduation party. All the feelings came back. We played kissy face. Told her I'd see her first break from school. Wrapped things up at Arthur Anderson. Gave my end of summer presentation. Had big aspirations. Thought I'd be a tax accountant. Making a bunch of money. Driving a Jaguar. Had my whole life in front of me. Went away to Mizzou for band camp. Felt so lost and lonely. Couldn't take my old sax with me. March in Mizzou gave me a new one. Not the same. I hated it. I only knew one black person. She was a year ahead of me, played in my high school band. She didn't fuck with niggas, though. The light-skinned Candace Owens. Barely made it a week before quitting. Band director asked if I was sure. I told him I was. Mom wasn't happy I quit. Parents paid for football season tickets. No more marching band. Thought it was smart to add more credits. My roommate was a white guy from the middle of Missouri. Went to classes the first couple of weeks. Missed home too much. Went home too much. Napster was new. Enjoyed downloading music more than school. Solar was the homie and had a CD burner. We stayed up all night to download Stank On Ya. We got a different version of the album. I know, 'cause gangster shit sounded different. Spent most of my time in the library. Pirating music instead of getting pussy. Wasn't going to class for real. Was on my roommate's computer a lot. Yahoo Messenger with Mickey. She was going to Rankin Tech. Majoring in auto collision repair. I missed her. Looked at porn on the computer at night. Masturbated for the first time. Heard the word before used in church. Didn't know what it was. Just knew it was a sin. Found the right flick. Squirted the lotion in my left hand. Stroked till I felt that familiar feeling. Nutted in a paper towel. Felt good. But I felt shame. The devil told me I was going to hell. Going to hell for touching myself. Met Mallory on Black Planet. Mallory went to SLU. Ty went to SLU too. He told me where to park. Ty took me to Mallory's dorm. We made small talk, then made out. She sucked my dick. I've been talking shit about eating pussy. New taste and acquired taste. Like beer. The thrill of making her moan. We fucked, then I went home. Went back to Mizzou. Didn't go back to classes. Got addicted to Mario Kart and Napster. Went back to STL for the Gateway Classic. Met up with Mickey. Couldn't keep my hands off of her. Back to Mizzou. After having no freedom, too much freedom tripped me up. Wasting the money that paid my way. I didn't get any pussy at Mizzou. The girl I wanted didn't want to fuck me. She liked fucking everybody else, though. I gave her a massage. No luck. Got called a nigger in Como. Went to the movies with friends. One of my homegirls, Sugar Daddy, drove. Sugar refused to pay for the other girls. I paid, so I stayed, and they left. Watched Medal of Honor. Attempted to walk back to the dorms. Pickup truck full of white boys pulled up. Asked if I wanted to ride. I declined. Fuck you then, nigger. As they pulled off, walked back to the theater and called a taxi. Went as far as the cash in my pocket allowed. Walked the shorter distance back. School sucked. Thought I could cram and be okay. Showed up to classes for finals week. Sold all my books. That money bought Mickey a Christmas gift. Got her a red lingerie set. She loved to wear strawberries and champagne. Copped the body spray. Lied to everybody during Christmas break. Told them school was going well. Grades came in the mail. Failed everything except freshman seminar. All hell broke loose. Let mom and dad down. Mom acted like I ruined my life. She acted like I ruined her life. Firstborn, fucked up her bragging rights. Got put on punishment. Mom put the clamps on me. A curfew got put in place. Mom drove me back to Mizzou. Quiet ride there. Quiet the whole time I packed my shit. Quiet ride back. I could have gone back. A lot of people fuck up a semester. My first big fail after high school. Fucked up the scholarship money. Lost my internship at Arthur Anderson. Mom's new office. Turned back to my room. I hated living there. I didn't feel welcome in my own home. An idle mind is the devil's home office. Black moms have answers for idle minds. Man always gotta have a plan. Enrolled at St. Louis Community College. Flow Valley campus was the closest to me. Felt like a failure every day of class. Didn't know what I wanted to do or be. I didn't have my own money. Got cut from parents' payroll. Thought about joining the Army or Air Force. I was too scared, though. Told Army recruiter I had childhood asthma. Can't enlist, recruiter's response. Had to get a job. Got one at David Buster's. Worked in the game room. Calling horse races was cool. Worked on my shot at the basketball hoops. Saw local sports celebrities. Corby Jones came through one time. Got my first tattoo at Black Pearl. Erica went with me to get her first and only one. Picked out an Ankh from the selections on the wall. Was going through my Hotep phase. Had already read From Niggas to Gods. Never got shot before, but that needle felt like a bullet. A bullet to my left shoulder. Hurt so bad, I stopped after the outline. Blood flowing down my arm. Told the artist I was done. The tattoo still isn't done. I didn't put in a lot of effort at Flow Valley. Barely studied after classes. I studied Mickey. I drive from North County to the north side. Shared the car with Pops. Drove Pops to work and picked Pops up. Pops worked at Ford on the line. Had to be back from the north side in time. I would pick a Mickey up from school. I'd been to her house once before. Big mistake. Teddy didn't dress boys around his girls. I was hooked on Mickey though. Went to her house looking for her. Knocked on the door. Teddy walked up on me. He choked me and pushed me back. My back leaned on the fence. He wanted to know what I was doing. Told me to never come around again. Pissed myself. Teddy let me go. I went home. My dad's leather jacket had a rip in it. I wore it when Teddy roughed me up. Lied to Dad about how I got there. Romeo and Juliet story. We'd go up to Forest Park to make out. I loved letting Mickey give me hickeys. One time she wore her red lingerie. Bra too small for her brown C-cup titties. I loved her brown nipples. A peeping Tom sat in the cut. We left. We found a different spot next time. Mickey told me she was a virgin. Told me that she didn't like that I wasn't. But she was eventually ready to give herself to me. Tried to enter her in the car. Pussy wouldn't let me in. Tried to rub it with my condom-covered dick. Pussy didn't want the first time to be in a car. My place too far. Her place too close. Didn't learn Teddy's lesson. I picked Mickey up from school. She told me no one would be home. Enough of a window of time to climb and explore Mickey's virgin body. Mickey checked the house first. She gave the all clear and I went in. I followed Mickey up the stairs to her room. She wore red lingerie under her school uniform. We took our clothes off. The view was beautiful, from her angelic face to her slender body. Mickey's plump titties sat nice in the bra. I took it off and kissed her. Kissed on her neck while I fingered her. Mickey's pussy got wetter. I looked her in the eyes. She looked ready. I put a condom on. It was her first time. A new feel, so I took it slow. Heard her soft gasp in my ear. Went in deeper every other stroke. I knew I wasn't going to last long. Mickey felt like a first Molly high. Our breathing intensified as we both came. Couldn't cuddle long. Wouldn't be long before family arrived. Headed home. Really didn't focus at school. Just went to keep Mom satisfied. Picked up extra shifts to make extra money. I wanted an extra helping of Mickey. We planned to go back to her house again. Before we could begin, the front door opened. Teddy got home earlier than expected. Both panicked, threw our clothes on. Mickey went downstairs to run interference. I hid in her sister's room. Heard Mickey pleading. Heard Teddy hollering. Then heavy footsteps came up the stairs. It's like he knew exactly where to look. Found me, drug me out. I felt his feet. I felt his fist. Mickey kept screaming, "Please stop!" Thought I would die. Pulled out handcuffs to put around wrists. There I was with hands cuffed behind me sitting on the floor, begging to be freed. Teddy said I was an intruder and called police. Lonzo, my uncle, showed up with them. Lonzo was police too. He could see more than my ego got bruised. Teddy uncuffed me. I stood outside while Lonzo talked to Teddy. I was told to never come back again. Mickey walked to the bus stop. We made eye contact. Went home and didn't tell my parents. Didn't expect to hear from Mickey again. Surprised to hear Mickey's voice again. She was staying with a family friend. Said she couldn't live under her parents' roof. Her friend stayed on the south side. I could see her there. Mom got a new car. I got her old car. Got more freedom. Would see Mickey after class, but before work. We'd fuck, cuddle, and talk. Couldn't hide who I was for long. I had anger issues. Reminded her of Teddy. Had a heart full of anger. I didn't have a healthy release. So much pain was inflicted on me, from the beatings I took from Dad. Spare the rod, spoil the child. To the beatings I took at school. I couldn't fight. My smart mouth got me in trouble a few times. That pain had to go somewhere. Mickey had seen a version of this movie before. She broke up with me. Super devastated. Super depressed. Gone over an hour, and that was too long. Called Ty in the middle of the night. Got the bright idea to prove my love. Ty drove me down to the south side. Acted out the streetcar named Desire scene. Didn't want Stella. I wanted my Mickey back. Didn't succeed. Mickey said I needed to work on my anger. We could talk though. That was enough for me. Crashed in Ty's dorm room. Mom wasn't happy I left. Didn't want to go back, but I had to. Hated home more and more, wanted out. Talk turned back to fucking. Mickey got pregnant. Embarrassed to tell parents. Somehow they found out. I had no plan. Wasn't ready for real life. Mickey miscarried. Bullet dodged. Mickey outstayed her welcome at Friends. Got kicked out with no place to stay. She spent the night at my grandma's. Then she moved in with her grandma. That was cool because her granny was cool. I could visit Mickey, but I had to go to the hall. Mickey grew up a witness, wasn't baptized. I'd go to the meetings just to be close to her. We'd fuck after in the car. I loved pulling her pantyhose down. Parents and brother went on vacation. I had to work. Mickey stayed the whole week. We played married couple. Got her pregnant the week of my 19th birthday. She loved another nigga, but I loved her more than them other niggas. Probably more than her own father. He didn't know what her pussy felt like. So I trapped her with a baby. I needed to make more money. Erica's mom hooked me up with a job. City Flex was the position at City Mortgage. Job was out at St. Charles, but it paid good. I quit D&B. While I worked there, I made point tickets. Collected enough points for a DVD player. Went back after I quit to redeem the tickets. Sent little brother to do the dirty work. Hit an easy lick. Processed mortgages at City Mortgage. Training wasn't sufficient for me. Really hoped it would turn into permanent. Didn't really know what I was doing. Nobody had time to work with me. I needed the gig because I had a kid on the way. Got a Citibank card through the job. Bought a TV to go with my DVD player. Bought Belly on DVD. Bought tickets to see Janet Jackson. All For You tour stopped in STL. Fanned out at the show. Bought some merch. Pregnant Mickey got sick and threw up. A reminder that I needed to get my shit straight. Planned my escape from parents' house. Marrying Mickey seemed like a bright idea. We went apartment hunting. Looked at a few, settled on one, on the west side of STL, at the intersection of Hamilton and Horton. 3rd floor, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, for $375 a month. Got Mickey a diamond ring from QVC. Awkwardly asked her to be my wife over dinner. Italian restaurant on de Bolivar. She said yes. Was hiding 2 big secrets from my family. 9/11 happened on a Tuesday. I got married Wednesday. Arrested Thursday. Fired the following week. Driving to work, listening to Russ Parr's show. Breaking news of a plane hitting first tower. Thought it was a joke, till second one hit. Got to work when third hit Pentagon. 4th plane didn't hit its target. CNN all day and no work done. Drove to Best Buy to buy the blueprint. 1 track in and knew it was a classic. Bink, Blaze, and Ye formed Production Voltron. Went back to work to do nothing. Whole world in shock. Gas jumped to almost $3. Met up with Mickey later. We walked and talked. Talked about if getting married would happen. Last chance for either to back out. We'd already got our marriage license. Already signed our lease. She was pregnant. I wanted out from under parents' roof. Seemed like a good enough reason to escape. I ignored the sign not to do it. The sign came in the form of towers falling. Courts were still open the day after. I took the day off. Had to fake like I was going to work. Snuck my blue Tommy Hilfiger suit. Met up at Mickey's Granny's to change. Drove to the courthouse. Mickey's family joined us. Didn't invite mine. Knew they'd object to it. I was in too deep to back out. Mickey's aunt knew the judge. We got to exchange nuptials in his chambers. Said our vows. I put the ring on her finger. Then we kissed. Felt awkward in front of her family. Life on autopilot. No presents. Reception at Applebee's. Life coming at me fast. Got to spend time with my new wife. Then went back to parents' house. Didn't know what next day had in store. Went to work like normal. Worked my shift. Drove a little too fast on the ride home. Saw a motorcycle cop. Busted U-turn. I'd already gotten a couple of tickets before. I didn't want to pay the fee or get the points. Thought I could duck off into a subdivision. Didn't know the area well enough. 12 waiting for me on the other side. Threw up the white flag. Cop walked up to my window. He wasn't satisfied with my answer. Told me to get out the car. Scared and helpless, as I did what I was told. Cop turned me around, patted me down. Then cuffed me and sat me on the curb. Backup arrived to help search my car. Once done, cop came over and pulled me up, then put me in the back seat of the car. Didn't feel real, felt so surreal. Booked, then put into a cell. Called up Devin. She couldn't help. Called up Ty. He couldn't find me. Finally called Mom and Dad. They were shocked, confused, unhappy. Had to look up the address in phone book. Took almost an hour to make it. Mom said I'd be bailing myself out. Desk cop gave her my debit card. Parents left to find an ATM. Came back with bail money. Got lectured the whole ride home. Parents found out about apartment. Mom told me to cancel the lease. Wish I could have been moved in. Place wouldn't be ready till weekend. Called Mickey. Told her everything. She told me I should have called her. She would have got her mom to bring her. To come bail me out. Showed she was a rider early. Mom put me on punishment. Hated Dad because he was so damn passive. I knew it was time to quit my family. Wrote a letter of resignation. Letting them know I got married. Put the note under Dad's car wiper blade. The escort had been towed. Mom dropped me off at tow lot. Picked up the car. Another expensive day. Had to pay the tow and lot fees. First lessons in adulthood. Consequences come in two forms. Loss of money or loss of freedom. Both could happen at the same time. Went to work late. Skating on thin ice and didn't know it. Got called in the supervisor's office. My services would no longer be needed. She told me to report to HR. A lot of confusion on my face. HR offered me a different position. A look of relief came to my face. Went back to office to get my shit. Did the speed limit, whole ride home. Parents were already home. They were shocked by the news they read. Dad told me that I had become a man. He said I could go be with my wife. Respected Dad for that. Hung with Mickey that night. We talked about moving in the next day. Got keys to new place on Saturday. Got some mattresses for Mickey's parents. Spent our first night together in emptiness. Sunday sad day for Mom. I went back to get the rest of my belongings. Took the basketball card collection. Shared it with little brother. Majority of collection was mine. Mom cried as I packed. We didn't hug when I left. The bad news kept coming. Reported to HR on Monday. Thought I'd be shown my new department. I got shown the door. Old supervisor found out about transfer. She hated, and I was fired. Everything blurry. New place, new wife, and kid on the way. No more job, though. I didn't know how to hustle. Not built for a life of crime. Mentally dependent on a job to make money. Looked in the thrifty nickel for a job. Found a hire on the spot gig. Those are never good, but I didn't know. Door-to-door home alarm system sales. Didn't care because I needed the money. Took the job. Came back the next day. Filled out payroll paperwork. Team lead picked a few of us. He'd take us out to our territories. We rode out to the Afton area. I shadowed team leader first. First Family didn't buy his sales pitch. He took rejection with stride. Then I was left out on my own. Team lead would pick me up sundown. My pitches weren't convincing either. Went home defeated. Went back second day and struck out more. Didn't go back the third day. Too much bullshit for the pay. Money was tight and rent would be due. Little brother cried about the car collection. Mom told me to bring it back along with car. Car wasn't in my name. Notified parents that Mickey was pregnant. They probably already figured that much. Life kept getting harder. Family threw together a wedding reception. Mom was still upset and didn't want to help. My aunt stepped up to the task. An awkward blending of two families. Mickey and I cut and fed each other cake. We gathered gifts and cards. I counted up the checks. I counted up the cash. Had enough to cover rent and bills. Gave us a little breathing room. Walked to Commerce. Deposited the checks and one bounced. I needed to work to make money. Uncle Phil threw me a bone. He opened a roofing company. Said I could do some work for him. Cousin Joe picked me up. Roofing wasn't my thing. Wasn't a fan of manual labor. I'm scared of heights too. Did a few days of work and earned $100. I felt the weight of adulthood so early. It made me angry. I was angry Mickey didn't take my last name. I felt stuck early. That I felt stuck in a situation I created. Mother-in-law to the rescue. Hooked me up with job readiness program. I felt to advance for the program. The employment counselor showed me jobs. Jobs that only paid minimum wage. I saw one that paid $8.50 an hour. Chemistry lab position paid the highest. Looked like something I could do. Got an interview, got the job. Started at Barnes Jewish Hospital, winter 2001. Night shift position, but trained on days. I was the only guy, lab tech on day shift. Was taught how to process specimens. Blood, urine, and feces got tested. Tedious job, but wasn't hard. Worked the first shift. Rode the bus to Metrolink. Rode Metrolink to work. Clocked in. Worked full shift. Clocked out. Rode Metrolink to Delmar Station. Then rode bus home. Full-time adult while my friends were in college. Life passing me by. Didn't know me. Didn't know how to be a man, how to be a husband, how to be a father. I became a monster. Didn't know how to be present during pregnancy. I wanted to be married and single. Wanted to be free. Traded in one mom for another through marriage. We just wanted to be together. We didn't know how to be together. Mickey still wanted to go to the hall. I played the game at first to keep the peace. Went to the hall with my new pregnant half. Participated in Bible study at home. Once I was trained up at work, went to nights. I hated working night shift. Never got enough sleep during the day. Tired all night at work. A new employee got hired. They didn't mind nights, so we switched. Steady paychecks meant steady bill paying. Basics plus student loan and credit card debt. A lot of weight for a 19-year-old. Stuck around to carry it. Rams lost Super Bowl. Tom Brady's first ring. Paid for car insurance with part of tax return. I was tired of having to walk everywhere. I liked driving to pay rent better than walking. Got through traffic court, lighter in the pockets. Points on the license too. Got a Nintendo GameCube with tax money too. My go-to for escape. Mickey didn't want to have our son at Barnes. She heard bad reviews. I wasn't happy, but she stood her ground. Mickey got Medicare. She'd be delivering at Forest Park Hospital. Her family threw the baby shower. Life moved at light speed. We argued the night before delivery. I wouldn't take her walking where she wanted. I wanted to walk at Barnes. She was afraid she'd have to deliver there. Mickey called her aunt to pick her up. Delivery day came. I didn't show up until evening. Worked all day. Then went car seat shopping. Picked up an Eddie Bauer edition seat. Showed up in time for the show. Boy child was born. Wave of emotion hit, and I cried. Both sides of the family were there. Named boy child after a member of Jodeci. Spent a couple nights in the hospital. Then took boy child home. We were a family of 3. The pressure to provide intensified. Embarrassment ramped up too. Being so young, trying to be so grown. Couldn't relate to a new babbling baby boy. Hold, feed, change. Hold, feed, change. Hold, feed, change. The only role I played. It all was new and strange. Having a car gave me access to trouble. Reconnected with Denise. No mention of marriage or fatherhood. Fucked at her parents' house. The act felt bad, but her pussy didn't. No one to talk to about what I was going through. Held all my stress and sins in. Got Mickey pregnant again. I didn't get her pregnant on purpose this time. Mickey was on birth control. Antibiotics she took canceled out the BC. We didn't have family planning conversations. Mother asked me if we keep it. More responsibilities, more problems. I totaled the family car. Was heading to a coworker's barbecue. Blanked out while driving. Rear-ended a parked car. Police came out to give me a ticket. Took my license and took more of my pride. Back to a life of walking everywhere. back to a life of taking public transportation, back to a life of asking for rides, rides to the laundromat or grocery store, back to a life of all lefts and no rights. Mickey went back to school. Her finishing first was the plan. Then I'd go back while she made the money. Put a lot of miles on my feet. Child care for boy child. We qualified for assistance because poor. Love food stamp day. Love the day tip drill video dropped. Solar called me from school. He asked if I seen tip drill. Told him I wasn't aware. Solar said it was a must-see. Stayed up late to watch BET Uncut. My horny ass loved it. X-rated videos on cable for the win. What that thing smell like? Questions that needed answers. Finally, it came on. Must be your ass, 'cause it ain't your face. I need a tip drill. I need a tip drill. I want to let you ride, but the rubber might slide. St. Louis got tip drills. Oklahoma got tip drills. It was an instant classic. Ladies of Spelman didn't think so. We know how that goes. Picking up boy child was a process. Took Metrolink to the Wellston station. Took Bi-State bus to the bus station. Walked 2 miles to daycare. Picked up boy child. Boy child rode on my shoulders. 2-mile walk back to bus stop. Took Bi-State bus to Wilson station. Took Metrolink to Delmar station. Took Bi-State bus home. A pretty black chick rode the bus too. We struck up a conversation. Probably forgot to mention I was married. Didn't ask for her number though. Wanted to. Mickey went with me to pick up boy child. I hoped pretty black chick wasn't on bus. Felt real awkward on the bus. Monogamy was kicking my ass. I was going back to my cheating ways. Didn't have to look too far for the next one. Cute cashier that worked at North Campus. We exchanged numbers. Sneaky conversation in boy child's room. Told cute cashier that I had a baby mama. Not a wife, just my baby mama. More lies about my life. Convinced cute cashier to come through. I had an off day, and Mickey was at school. Mickey called to say she wasn't feeling good. Warning sign to abort. But I suggest she stay at school. Maybe she'll get better. Small window of opportunity. Cute cashier came over. We chilled a little while in the living room. Then I took her to the bedroom for more. Before more could start, I heard a noise. Sounds of Mickey coming up the back steps. Oh boy, did I panic. Told cute cashier to hang tight. Mickey walked in and knew things were off. I pleaded for her to wait outside. She kept asking why. Broke down and told her the truth. There was another woman in our bedroom. Mickey wasn't waiting outside. Told me she'd be cool. Told me that I needed to escort that bitch out. Went back to our room to break the news. Both women made eye contact. Relative peace as cute cashier walked out. All hell broke loose once the door closed. Teddy picked up Mickey early from school. Good thing he didn't come up the stairs too. I needed to be made black and blue. Cheating on my pregnant wife. Swore to Mickey that I didn't fuck. My case wasn't strong at all. She wasn't trying to hear it. I slept on the couch that night. Boy child's room became ours. Boy child moved to our old room. Life went on. I kept getting in the shit. Still wanting to live like my friends. I saw 50 Cent with Joe at the pageant. 50's first tour had the clips on the ticket. 50 and crew came out to Kevlar vests. Turned 21 in 2003. I was free to buy my own liquor. Not well versed in the spirits. Learned the hard way at Joe's place. He picked me up for his house party. Felt good to do something fun. I met Sydney. Her sister was the girlfriend of a rapper. Rapper was a member of the group Abyss. They had a local hit with Catch 22. Rapper was friends with Joe. Sydney was pretty. Joe told me that Sydney was friendly. I was throwing drinks back heavy, Smirnoff Ices and Incredible Hulks. Didn't know what I signed up for. Felt fine while playing spades. Felt loose when I was talking to Sydney. We played kissy face on the steps. Acted a fool when Sydney left. Hopped on her sister's car as she drove. Hopped off so I wouldn't die. Went back inside. Joe laughed at me for playing kissy face. I went to the bathroom. Had to take a piss. Body got wobbly. I sat down to pee. Bathroom started spinning. Turned around to throw up in toilet. Didn't turn fast enough. Blue chunks as I turned. Blue chunks all over bathroom. I tried to clean up the mess and failed. Joe found me passed out in my vomit. Joe and his homegirl cleaned me up. Then cleaned up the bathroom. They weren't happy with me. Mickey wasn't happy when they delivered me. Refused to nurse me through hangover. I felt like death and a half. First of many. My job options weren't many. Being a cop looked cool. I applied a few weeks after turning 21. The pay was great. I felt like I could be one of those good cops. Thought I would be a shoo-in. My uncle was on the force. I knew Police Chief Moak was late wife. She was my supervisor at Arthur Anderson. St. Louis Police Department or bust. I was tired of struggling. Had a slight scare with girl child. Doctors thought she had a defect in utero. Thank God it was a false alarm. Mickey would be giving birth at Barnes. We were using my insurance this go-round. Mickey went into labor while I was at work. Her mom gave her a ride to the hospital. I met up with Mickey on my lunch break. Went home after work to get a bag. Boy child was staying with Mickey's family. I spent the night at the hospital. The contractions were hard. I went to work the next day. Told them to call me when it was go time. Got paid by the hour, so I had to work. Another mouth to feed was on the way. Got the call that Mickey started pushing. Both sets of parents were in the room. Girl child arrived in August of 2003. I cried uncontrollably. This was a different cry. I didn't know how I'd take care of another. That's what I cried out to my mother. She told me it will all be okay. I cut the cord like I did with boy child. The placenta looked gross. We spent the night at the hospital. One of Mickey's sisters picked us up. She drove us home. Now I had 2 kids and no car. Couldn't wait for Mickey to finish school. Shouldering the financial load was old. I took a couple of classes at Forest Park. Thought I wanted to get into IT. Didn't need a lot of schooling to get into it. I enjoyed using HTML for Black Planet. I just needed a way out. The months felt longer than my checks. Having 2 kids in diapers wasn't cheap. I hated waking up to mad bills to pay. I hated waking up to an everyday struggle. 2 kids by 21? Knew where this story was heading. Pulling out wasn't in my wheelhouse. I looked into getting a vasectomy. Felt a little too permanent. Researched vas clips. They were like clothespins for vas deferens. Initially, I just wanted to pause my baby making. Decided to go all the way after consultation. My uncle did the procedure. Best urologist in the game. Shaved my nuts the night before. Nurse took a needle to my nuts to numb them. I was awake for the whole thing. Tried not to look as my uncle cut. Both vas deferens were snipped. Then the ends were burned. Uncle sold me up. My baby-making career lasted all of 3 years. Started fucking at 18. Stopped shooting live rounds at 21. Snipped on a Friday, then worked the weekend. Wore a jock strap to keep my nuts in place. I was super sore. Limped my way through work. Couldn't wait for frozen peas on my nuts. They had a dull soreness to them for a while. Almost 3 months of soreness. Nervous on first nut. Came inside Mickey, and it felt lighter. Felt free knowing I couldn't get her pregnant. Felt trapped in my marriage. Mickey and I fought about every 3 months. Started out with small arguments, then they'd explode. I'd be the main aggressor. Mickey fought back in defense. She threatened to call the cops. We'd fight over the phone. Fought my wife in front of the kids. Fought my wife because I hated my mom. Hated anything that reminded me of her. Let my rage out on Mickey. She'd walk away with bruises. I'd show up to work with scratches on my face. One of our worst fights was over a strip club. I wanted to go. She didn't want me to go. We fought physically. Babies were screaming because of the noise. I still went to the pink slip. Solar picked me up and saw the marks. Told him I still wanted to go. Needed an escape. Nice to see a set of titties I wasn't married to. Saw strippers for the first time at the Mono. It was the club's 5-year anniversary party. Mono, short for monastery, was on the east side. Clubs in St. Louis closed at 3 a.m. East St. Louis clubs closed at 6. Had to cross that bridge cuz some folks would take the last metro over, then take the first metro back in the a.m. It's where the chicken head originated. The Mono is the original name. Nina Pop is the other acceptable name. Chicken Head is the out-of-towner name. Pink slip dancers provided the entertainment. There was an inflatable pool on stage, and DJ played Big Timers Still Fly. My first time hearing it. Couple of hours went by. Finally, the dancers came out. 2 of them, both thick. Twerked on the stage to the music. I had money to get in, but not to tip. Things escalated quickly. The dancers got in the pool. They started making out. One went down on the other. Then they scissored. They put on a show. Had to pay to go to the after party. I went home. For extra money, I did medical studies. I'd have to spend 2 of my weekends. One time I signed up for an Ambien trial. Ambien had me knocked out in 5 minutes. They'd wake us up to take our blood. Made about $600. The fights with Mickey were getting worse. Didn't know how to process my anger. I knew how to straddle and slap her. Over and over and over. Even referring to her as mother. Going too far was my problem. Neither of us had any back down. Both firstborn. Both hard-headed. One of us was going to end up dead. Thank God I didn't kill her. I'm definitely afraid of prison. A he-got-game situation. Screaming, biting, kicking, hitting. Scratching faces, slapping faces. Screaming, biting, kicking, hitting. Scratching faces, slapping faces. Screaming, biting, kicking, hitting. Scratching faces, slapping faces. In front of the kids. Didn't care. Kids saw the worst of me. Mickey got the worst of my anger. But I didn't want her to go. Addicted to the drama. Repeated the same cycle. Same childhood cycle. Mom didn't show enough attention. Or mom and dad would fight. They could never get on the same page to be great. They'd argue and argue. Dad never beat her, though. He loved and adored her, though. Grabbed her twice, though. She probably had it coming. Mom had a mouth on her. Heard the same mouth on Mickey. Addicted to drama. Fuck up so we could fight. So I could win her love back. Then we could fuck. Vicious toxic cycle. Should have been arrested. Arrested many times. As much as I fought her. Let out all my hate on her. Let out all my rage on her. Let out all my lies on her. Let out all my love on her. Let out all my pain out on her. Let it all out on her. Same way Dad did on me. Spankings turned to beatings. That slave shit is all he knew. Thought I was dying. He almost broke my arm once. Only form of discipline he knew. He got it worse than I did, though. Passed down from generation. Generation to generation. I passed it down to Mickey. Fought too much. Didn't fuck enough. Screaming, biting, kicking, hitting. Scratching faces. Slapping faces. Screaming, biting, kicking, hitting. Scratching faces. Slapping faces. Our neighbors heard. They minded their business. They had a son, boy child's age. They played together. Screaming, biting, kicking, hitting, scratching faces, slapping faces. Then she pulled out a knife. Mickey really chose violence. I hid in the bathroom, looking like Ebony. Mickey wanted the felony. Begged and pleaded. Begged and pleaded. Begged and pleaded for my life. Waited for her to calm down. It was getting to be too much. Mickey told me I needed to leave. She said I needed to get help. We had our first separation. Grandpa let me stay with him. Still paid all the household bills. Signed up for anger management. I started, but didn't finish. Lived with Grandpa for a couple of months. Separated and acting single. That's what I was doing. Had my eye on another cashier. She worked in the gift shop at Barnes. Pretty and hairy like Ashanti. We'd have little convos when I checked out. Single mom with a 2-year-old boy. Lived with her mom. Her baby daddy was young and lost too. Liked me enough to hang out, but not to fuck. She picked me up and we chilled. Watched the Mac at her mom's. She wasn't fucking at her mom's. Should have known better but horny. Gift shop cashier took me back to Grandpa's. The separation became impractical. I calmed down enough to return home. Mickey finished school. She got a job at an auto collision repair shop. We were finally pulling in 2 incomes. Finally got some weight off my back. Mickey quickly got tired of taking the bus to work. Decided to buy a car. New one. Should have bought used though. Used Dad's Ford discount to get a Ford Focus. Paid $500 down with Mickey's credit card. Mickey co-signed on the note but didn't drive. She never learned because of bad anxiety. Felt good to have reliable transportation again. Took Mickey to see Usher. Usher performed the Confessions album. Our marriage was still rocky. We still had fights. I was still abusive. I was still cheating. Met Carla on Black Planet. We talked about hooking up. Waited until Mickey fell asleep. In my mind, she wouldn't notice. Left in the middle of the night to go see Carla. Fucked her in the front seat of Focus. Used condom, but her pussy was too good. I didn't last too long. Knew as soon as I slid in. Tried to slow it down to extend things, but that pussy brought me to my knees. Felt like sunshine. Had to get my behind home, though. Went to see her again another night. Ate Carla out in the front seat of the Focus. Almost got caught by the cops. Went back home like nothing happened. Something happened at Mickey's job. Mickey was out of a job. Too much weight fell back on my shoulders. The plan was to move in with Mickey's mom. Mickey's mom left Teddy. Mickey's mom got her own place. It would be crowded. A couple of Mickey's sisters lived there too. Didn't talk to leasing company. Didn't make an arrangement. I just stopped paying the rent. Not the smartest of moves. Wasn't giving back car after not having one. Moved a majority of stuff to Mickey's mom's. Final eviction notice appeared on door. A few days passed before chaos. I heard voices and footsteps coming upstairs. Then loud knocks on door. Camco brought the sheriff department. Camco had its own movers. Camco's movers had black plastic trash bags. Camco's movers packed the rest of our shit. Camco's movers put our shit on sidewalk. We were told to exit the premises. I packed all I could in the car. One of Mickey's sisters watched the rest. Dropped our stuff off at Mickey's mom's. Went back to old spot for rest. Camco put a judgment on my credit. Judgment on my credit for back rent. Blessed to have a place to stay. Updated the STLPD recruiters of new address. Got interviewed by a recruiter. The process felt forever. Process went on forever soon after interview. STLPD implemented a hiring freeze. Almost ended up in porn. Came across a porn producer on the net. We talked over the course of a few weeks. Said he'd pay me $300 for a scene. Said I need to get an STD test to be official. Never got one before. First time was the worst time. I wanted to punch the nurse in the head. She put a Q-tip up my dick hole. Got my results back. Clean as a whistle. Didn't mention any of this to Mickey. Had to come up with a lie for Mickey. Told her I had a medical study at SLU. Got real intricate with the lie. Might as well have told on myself. Producer asked if I was cool with a DP. Didn't know what that was, but down to try. Got to the producer's house. He said the other two actors flaked. No scene for me, no money for me. Had to think up another lie. A lie as to why I didn't get paid for my time. Life distractions came in handy. It got too crowded at Mickey's mom's. Mickey's mom's landlord said we had to go. My parents' place wasn't an option. Mom and Mickey didn't get along. Mickey reached out to a cousin. Mickey's cousin lived on the north side. Mickey's cousin stayed with her baby daddy. They had 2 kids together like us, boy and girl, close in age to ours. We packed up and moved again. Kids slept in the living room. Me and Mickey slept in the spare room, on a mattress on the floor. We could hear the mice at night. We could see the roaches by day. But we had no other place to stay. Putting in on bills didn't help us save money. I wasn't even making $10 an hour. Still got up for work 5 days a week. Had nobody to vent to. If I vented to Ricky, it would get back to Mickey. Ricky was Mickey's cousin's baby daddy. He was finding his way too. Tried to smoke with him once. Mickey caught me and got mad. Like I was her child doing something wrong. We tried not to fight in other people's homes. Tension got swept under the rug. I was stressed about the hiring freeze. No better paying jobs were coming through. I stumbled across one. Mickey's cousin needed a ride to a job fair. I volunteered to take her. Most of the jobs available were service ones. WashU Med School had a booth there. They had a lab tech position available. I read over the job description. $12 an hour looked lovely. Looked like something I already did at Barnes. Their recruiters told me how to apply. Applied for the job. Got the job. Put my 2 weeks at Barnes. Going away party at a bar. Former coworkers bought me drinks. I was trying to do too much. Had a medical study to get to that night. Too drunk to drive, but drove home anyways. I'd planned to take Mickey to her mom's. Mickey and our babies weren't going. They weren't going with me in my state. Mickey could see how drunk I was. She said I was too drunk to drive. I needed the money, so I was going. Our argument got louder. Mickey's cousin and Ricky tried to calm us. Liquor had me telling Mickey how I really felt. That's why your dad used to beat your ass. A fist to my eye was Mickey's response. Fight over. Ricky walked with me till things calmed down. Called the medical study people. Told them I wouldn't make it. Lost out on money, but gained a black eye. Had to lie on my first day at the new job. Told them I'd gotten into a car accident. I wonder how many bought that bullshit. WashU Med School worked on the genome project. The specimens. No shit or piss to process like at Barnes. The bigger checks were nice. Finally, some sunshine. Then shit went left with Mickey and her cousin. We were told to leave. Mickey used up all her options. It was my turn to come up with a place to stay. My parents' place, a no-go. Called up my grandma. Her voice hinted at hesitancy. She asked if there was anywhere else. I told her had no other place to go. Grandma agreed to let us stay with her. Couch surfing with a wife and 2 kids ain't fun. At least we landed in safe places. Granny's house a peaceful place of refuge. Most peace our family had. Me and Mickey didn't fight. We weren't going to disrespect Granny's house. Granny had to go out of town for church. Had to find a place to go while she was gone. I looked up motels in the phone book. Booked an affordable one for one person. Mickey and kids hung at her mom's. After I got off work, I picked them up. We snuck in motel room after dark. The 4 of us slept in queen-size bed. We'd get up early to drop Mickey and kids off. Then I'd head to work. Never told anyone at work my situation. Just put on my headphones and did my job. Watched the Cardinals lose the World Series. Boston broke the roof curse. Played a lot of late registration then. Ye's soulful beats were touching my soul. College Dropout had me hooked. I was a college flunk out, so I could somewhat relate to the music. Sophomore slumps were still a thing, but Kanye didn't miss. The internet made getting music easier. LimeWire and BearShare were jungles. You could come out with unreleased music. You could come out with a virus. You could come out with both. I'd spend hours looking for music. I'd spend hours downloading music. I'd spend hours in the boxed in forums. Came across Little Brother in the liner notes. I was curious about the producer for Threats. Saw that was Ninth Wonder. Read about Ninth Wonder in the source. Article said he was a member of Little Brother. Fonte spit that reality rap about fatherhood. I was living his raps. Spent a week in the motel. Granny let us come back when she did. Got word paternal grandpa had cancer. Terminal pancreatic cancer. Didn't know he was sick until last minute. Didn't tell anyone until last minute. Me, Mickey, and kids made journey to Virginia. We went with mom, dad, and brother. Hurt to see my dad watching his dad dying. Grandpa passed the morning we left. Back to Granny's we went. Didn't have to pay bills at Granny's. Was able to save up for our own place. Paid off Camco. Still had judgment on credit. Had to look for private owners to rent from. Found one on Craigslist. 2-family flat on the south side. Upstairs side was available. We took it, eager to have our own again. A year-long couch surf. Didn't want to leave Granny's, but it was time. Back to the wilderness we went. Had to pay all the bills again. Mickey wasn't working. She'd do some work with her mom for cash. I had to cover the expenses of 4 people. Needed a second job. UPS was hiring. Got trained up at WashU. They moved me to the evening shift. Spent from noon to 8 at WashU. Spent 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. at UPS. Had some college under my belt. They put me at sorter. So glad I wasn't a loader or unloader. That's where the slave labor was. I put the packages on cages. The cages went out to the delivery trucks. I worked 4 hours, got a 15-minute break. I was able to keep up with the pace of the work. Long drive home. From Earth City to the South Side. Never felt rested, always tired. Was dozing off at the wheel. Not much to be happy about at home. I enjoyed seeing the kids at top of stairs. Seeing kids at top of stairs. Kids at top of stairs greeting me. Greeting me after a long day of work. The internet, my escape. Struck up a friendship on Black Planet. Black woman that lived on the north side. She had a free spirit. Mysterious but free. Asked for her number. She gave it. Didn't talk or text much. Mystery lady invited me over. She sent her address. I showed up to her place. Mystery lady opened the front door, but didn't open the screen door. She wore a silk robe. Aura of mystery surrounded her. Felt like a scene out of The Golden Child. Reminded me of Kala, the dragon lady. Talked to each other through the door. Didn't get invited in. I went home disappointed. Working 2 jobs wore on me. Got moved to another position at UPS. Went over to the delivery truck side. Loading 200 packages an hour, the quota. I couldn't keep up with the pace, no matter how hard I tried. Supervisor tried to show me his methods. Supervisor operated on another level. 4-hour shift felt like 8. 15-minute break felt like 5. Called off at UPS to get into some mischief. Dragon Lady told me about a couple she knew. They wanted to have a MFM threesome. Dragon Lady sent me their address. She told me what time to be there. Told Mickey I was going to work. I arrived at the house at the time given. Knocked on the door. A loud voice told me to come in. Door unlocked and I walked in. The party had already started. Walked to back room. Dark room with red light. Just enough light to see dude getting head. Took her mouth off his dick to speak. She said I could join. I pulled my pants down and I put on a condom. The lady turned around. The lady faced her ass towards me. Heard her say fuck when I put it in. She put his dick back in her mouth. She moaned on his dick as I stroked. She told me to put my dick in her ass. I tried and failed. She was determined to get her ass filled. Me and dude switched positions. I laid on my back. The lady slid on my dick, slid up and down on it a few times. She wanted to feel both of us in her. Dude tried to get in her booty hole. My dick got soft. Dude was too close for comfort. Told them I needed to leave. Got dressed and got up out of there. Got done before the end of my shift. Had a couple of hours to waste. Had to stick to the script. Went home at the regular time. Life started unraveling again. UPS was too much. Too much work for too little pay. So I quit. Lasted there about a month. I had been fucking up at the main job. Spent too much time in the break area. That's where they had computers. My eyes were glued to the boxing forums. I was only there for the check. They should have been fired me. I begged and pleaded to my boss. Told her I had a family to support. Boss didn't give a fuck. I didn't want to go home to tell Mickey. Had to go home to tell Mickey. Mickey had had enough by that point. I was beating and cheating. Now I couldn't keep a job. Mickey was checking out. I noticed she was spending more time online. My spidey senses were tingling. I found this web tracker program on LimeWire. It recorded websites and keystrokes. Mickey had a back and forth going on in Yahoo Messenger. Mickey was in bed asleep. I was getting angrier. She told him she'd show her titties on cam. I lost it and ran to the bedroom. I snatched Mickey by her hair, snatched her out of bed, slapped her a couple of times, called her a cheating bitch. Then something in me told me to stop. I got up and ran down the stairs. Mickey chased behind me. I slammed the door open, tried to get out. Door hit Mickey's foot. She screamed. I went back to check on her. Neither of us slept that night. I knew I fucked up bad. Tried to make it up to her. Followed her in the bathroom. Begged for forgiveness while she pissed. When she got done and wiped, I grabbed her arms and sat her down. I told her I was sorry as I ate her pussy. Ate her pussy without permission. Did what I saw in Baby Boy. Mickey's body froze. I picked her up and sat her on top of the toilet. Pulled my shorts down. Put my dick in her. Fucked her harder. She wouldn't moan like she used to. Fucked her for showing off her breasts. Kept going until I came in her. Just silence afterwards. I ended up calling dude that she talked to. He said she told her that I lived with her. That she paid all the bills. That sent me into a spiral. I was already cutting myself. Took one of the kitchen knives to my arms. Started playing with sleeping pills. Tested the limits. Popped a few and felt super woozy. Picked a day to check up out of here. Well, more like to get some attention. Went over the limit with the pills. Then I drove to Granny's. She could tell something was up, but she didn't know what. I sat in her room, dozing off. Mickey found the bottle of pills. She called Granny to rat me out. Granny took me to the bathroom. Granny put her finger down my throat, made me throw up the pills. My aunt came over. Aunt took me to the hospital. Couldn't afford to spend a weekend there. Talked myself out of being committed. I wasn't going back to couch surfing. I got my old job at Barnes. I felt defeated. Mickey said we needed another separation. Called up Granny. She said I could stay with her. I hid Mickey's sex toys out of spite. I'd go to work, then have dinner with the family. Then Mickey and I had sex. Then I went back to Granny's. Sometimes I'd see Sparkle. Sparkle, a junior in high school. Another Black Planet connection. Went to U City. Sometimes I go to her job. Her job at the shoe store, around the corner from Granny's. We'd talk while she worked. Sometimes we'd hang in the park, around the corner from Granny's. Sat and talked in the car. I wanted her, but I knew it wasn't smart. I kissed her. She kissed me back. Pulled up her top, pulled down her bra. Car pulled up next to ours. Saved me from catching the case. I was devastated when I got the letter. STLPD recruiting department sent rejection. That rejection letter broke my heart. Passed all the tests and endured the freeze. Felt so fucking lost. In a lost America. Katrina happened. Black people trying to survive were villainized. Kanye told Bush about himself to the world. Didn't want Barnes to be my world. That's the road I was headed down. Talked to Dad about my struggle. He suggested that I look into enlisting. Said I should look into military policing. Uncle Sam was there for my grandpa. He fought in Korea. Uncle Sam was there for my father. He served during the Cold War. He missed out on the trip to Iraq. His unit didn't get deployed for Desert Storm. I was strongly considering it. Reality removed my fear. America was armpit deep in 2 wars. Bush put 2 wars on the credit card. IEDs had come on the scene in Iraq. Al-Qaeda was using guerrilla warfare. Videos of sniper attacks in Iraq on LimeWire. The situation looked bleak. My situation looked bleaker. I saw opportunity. An opportunity to take care of my family. An opportunity to travel. An opportunity to get school paid for. An opportunity to get my wisdom tooth pulled. A cavity got in there. It was a bad one. So bad, it made a hole in the tooth. I stuffed it with Ambisol-covered tissue. The pain so bad, it kept me up at night. Asked a coworker for a pain pill. She got it confused with the muscle relaxer. I had to go home early. Couldn't afford the dental copay. The Army looked better and better. Stood in my room at Granny's, staring at my phone, contemplating what I should do. Pulled out the phone book. I found the number to the recruiting office. A soldier answered on the other end. I told him I was interested in joining. He said to come on down. Told Granny I was headed out. Arrived at the Army recruiting office. Soldier who I talked to greeted me at the door. He took my information. Staff Sergeant Judy would be my recruiter. I must have made her day. Walked in the office on my own. Recruiting was tough with 2 wars going on. Uncle Sam needed bodies. Recruiters were tasked to meet crazy quotas. Uncle Sam fucked the ones that fell short. There was a reported suicide of a recruiter. Staff Sergeant Judy was an attractive black woman. She had a big booty too. I took the practice ASVAB. The score gave Staff Sergeant Judy an idea of what jobs I'd qualify for. I told her I wanted to be an MP. She said it was a 5-year commitment. I was only trying to do 4 and get out. Staff Sergeant Judy gave me a list of jobs. She also gave me a recruitment DVD. It had videos of different jobs on it. Staff Sergeant Judy scheduled a test date for me. I watched the videos at home. I wasn't fucking with the frontline jobs, but I grew up watching G.I. Joe, so I wanted to see some action. Video for 13 might look cool. Shooting rockets, the MOS description. Staff Sergeant Judy took me to MEPS to take ASVAB. Took the ASVAB back in high school. Took it to get out of class. Didn't have a blast doing spatial recognition. Stupid shapes that turned into shapes. Had to figure out what shape it was. I understood words better. Still got a 70. General technical score was 106. Too bad it wasn't a 110. Could have got any job I wanted. Staff Sergeant Judy picked me up after I got done. We went to City Hall next. Got my marriage and birth certificates. Lost the originals during the moves. I couldn't afford them. Staff Sergeant Judy paid for them. Later that week, she took me to Forest Park. My physical fitness needed to be assessed. I ran, jogged, walked, jogged, ran a mile. It was a struggle, and my chest burned. I finished, though. Staff Sergeant Judy wanted me to demonstrate marching. Marched like a marching band member. All I knew from 4 years of marching band. Staff Sergeant Judy got a good laugh. She showed me the Army way. I did it how she did it. Then we went back to her office. Staff Sergeant Judy wanted to see push-ups and sit-ups. Mine were good enough for Army standards. I still wasn't 100% sure I wanted to go. Was hoping for a way out. STLPD advertised a hiring fair. Maybe it was a sign to try again. I went to the fair and took the written test. But after I finished, I knew it wasn't for me. I needed that signing bonus from Uncle Sam. Staff Sergeant Judy picked me up super early. She had to take me to MEPS for my physical. Got grouped with the other Army recruits. Then went through the physical process. Don't know how I made it through the duck walk. Got deformed flat feet, overpronated ankles, and slewed feet. No arches at all. Uncle Sam was taking everybody. Flat feet disqualified one of my uncles. He missed a free trip to Vietnam. Got my weight and vitals checked. Blood got taken. Next up was peeing in a cup. Couldn't pee around people. Drank so much water I threw up. Only way the pee would come out. Met with the doctor after that. Bent over and coughed in front of him. Almost fucked things up. When asked if I had asthma, told doctor I did as a kid. Having asthma would have disqualified me. Staff Sergeant Judy pulled me into another room. She was not happy. Asked me what the fuck I was doing. Staff Sergeant Judy coached me up on what to say. Went back and told the doctor I was clear to move forward to picking an MOS. I wanted that 13 mic job. MLRS looked cool. The enlistment NCO had bad news for me. There weren't any 13 mic slots available. I had to think of a new MOS on the fly. Had to remember what I saw in the videos. Didn't want to be a tanker. Had this fear of burning up in a tank fire. I remember the 13 Bravo video looking cool. Cannon crew member, the official title. Shooting cannons in the job description. Job came with a $20K enlistment bonus. I was sold. Skimmed over my contract before I signed. Got the Montgomery GI Bill. Signed up for 4 years. Would go in as an E2. Staff Sergeant Judy knew I wouldn't make it on E1 salary. Not with a wife and 2 kids. Would barely make it on an E2 salary. Staff Sergeant Judy did what she could for me. Had me memorize the rank system. Had me memorize the phonetic ABCs. I already knew military time. We used it at Barnes. I could recite all the info back to Staff Sergeant Judy. How I got my waiver to E2. My drug test came back clean. So I was good to go. Signed my life over to Uncle Sam. They lined the new enlistees up. We raised our right hands. We said the oath of enlistment. We solemnly swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That we would bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that we would obey the orders of the President of the U.S., the orders of the officers appointed over us, according to the regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help us God. It all felt very real. On the ride back home from MEPS, Staff Sergeant Judy reassured me that artillery didn't really deploy for real like infantry units. Didn't really have to worry about seeing direct combat. Good words to hear. Wanted some parts of the action? Didn't want all the parts of the action. I'd be shipping out in a week and a half. Mickey said I could stay at the house. Could stay there until I left. Couldn't do any bickering or fighting. She had a cousin ready to beat my ass if I put hands on Mickey again. Put in my notice at Barnes. My coworkers were surprised. I didn't want to work there my whole life. Seen people get trapped there. Seen people happy with just enough. I wanted more. Coworker Roy put me on game. Said the gas chamber would be the worst part of basic. Gave me a little reassurance. Family threw a going away party for me. Some of the family tried to talk me out of going. None of them were going to pay my bills. Knew if I stayed, I'd be stuck forever. I enjoyed the fake family facade. The front we put on until I shipped off. Fucked Mickey a few times. Had a week and a half to prepare. Prepare the family for my departure. Made sure Mickey had access to the bank account. She'd be paying the bills. Packed according to the packing list. Somehow slept the night before. The night before it was time to go. Woke up on October 12th, 2005. Woke up before the crackheads. before everybody else in the house. Kissed boy child on the forehead. He was 3 years old when I left. Kissed girl child on the forehead. She was 2 years old when I left. Kissed Mickey on the forehead as she slept. Grabbed my bags. Walked down the stairs. Walked out the door. Staff Sergeant Judy was waiting outside for me. Got into the car. Staff Sergeant Judy pulled off and we headed to MEPS. Hope she didn't see my tears in the dark. Was time to embark on a new adventure. Dark the whole ride there. Quiet the whole ride there. Uncertainty the whole ride there. Still the ass crack of dawn upon arrival. Staff Sergeant Judy showed me where to go. Picked up my bags and followed her. To where the Army recruits were. Navy and Air Force recruits looked at us Army and Marine recruits like we were crazy. Us Army recruits looked over at the Marine recruits like they were batshit crazy. I was fascinated by the ACUs. ACUs were the new Army uniform. A digital pattern and tan boots. I joined at the right time. No need to iron uniforms. No need to shine boots. My group went to another room. Where do we say the oath again? Had to say the oath of enlistment again. To make sure we were sure, raised our right hands again. We solemnly swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that we would bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that we would obey the orders of the President of the U.S., the orders of the officers appointed over us, according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help us God. Backing out then would have looked stupid. Nothing to go back to but struggle. Wanted a better life for my family. Wanted to toughen up. Wanted to be a man. Just wanted more for myself. Each of us recruits got packets. Packets with our paperwork. Packet included our orders. Packet included our itineraries. Packet included our plane tickets. Hung around MEPS waiting for orders. We were matched up with a battle buddy. Mine was a white guy. Southern Illinois, his home. Cardinals fan too. We talked about baseball. From the bus to the Metrolink. From the Metrolink to Lambert Airport. People looked at us differently. Looked at us with admiration. Like we were going off on a mission. A special mission. Too special for them. We were a part of the less than 1% that serve. I handed over my boarding pass. Walked on the plane. Wheels up, and we were off. Lawton, Oklahoma, the final destination. With a stop in Dallas on the way. Leaving my old life behind. Already feeling like my life wasn't mine. In my mind, I did a slight rewind to remind myself why I was on that plane. Why I needed to get away. Somebody would have died if I stayed, either me or Mickey. So it was me that went to fulfill a divine assignment. The Sinner's Prayer. Lord God, I come to you a sinner, and I humbly repent for my sins. I believe that Jesus is Lord. I believe you raised him from the dead. I would ask Jesus to come into my life and to be my Lord and Savior. I receive Jesus to take control of my life and that I may live with him. From this day forward, thank you, Lord Jesus, for saving me with your precious blood. In Jesus' name,